Greetings to each of you, and welcome to the Shakedown, a podcast about corrections, by corrections, and for corrections. I am your host, Aaron Dawson, and it is awesome to be with you yet again for another episode, another week. Hope that you are doing well. Hope you're living life to the fullest. As we jump into this week's episode, we want to answer the question, what is going on in the world of corrections? Taking a look at the articles and the news articles that are coming out about jails and prisons and corrections, etc., and pulling out information that could be beneficial, could be reminders, and could just be plain old interesting. That could be, come down to that. And so in looking through the recent headlines that have been coming through, pulled out a few that I thought were, as I said, interesting and or informative. The first, I'll be honest with you, was extremely shocking. You had an inmate that was attempting suicide, was unresponsive. And so you had a group of officers that were performing CPR on this inmate, trying to revive this inmate who had attempted to commit suicide. There were 11 officers in the immediate area around the inmate responding to the medical call. And as they began to try to give take these life-saving measures, there began to be people that got lightheaded, that were having trouble breathing, that they started to pass out. There were a few officers that had to have Narcan administered to them. The end result is that all 11 of those officers and the inmate had to be transported to the hospital. And so they're investigating it. They don't know what it was that caused all 11 of those officers to have to be transported in medical distress. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them as they are recovering from that process. But man, it reminded me how careful we've got to be with these substances that are out there available that are so dangerous in such small quantities. How you can be just interacting in a normal situation or even in an extreme situation like this, and all of a sudden you are impacted. The reminder that we've got to be so very careful. Another article, there was a correctional officer who was attacked by an inmate and the article said choked out. Thankfully, the officer is fine. He was seen and treated. They were seen and treated, and they're fine. In the ensuing investigation, something that I thought was very interesting, they said that an officer sent a statement, said that they are making changes in their area, hiring processes improving, and the interview processes, but that many of the policies that are in place make it hard for the staff to do their job. And they said because of the situation, it has created, and I quote, a culture of defiance growing due to a lack of consequences or a backlog of behavior reviews. And I'll tell you, you look at that, there's policy, there is lack of consequences, and there's behavior review. And those of you that are supervisors, those of you that are administrators, that's on us in our agencies, making sure that, yes, I know it's a headache, and yes, there's piles of paperwork to go along with the other piles that you have going on, but how crucial that control is to maintaining safety and security in the facility. And then the last article that I want to pull out, and I want to say hats off to this agency. They had an inmate that was obviously dealing with some mental distress or mental illness, suicidal ideation. And so in dealing with this inmate, there were 3 separate occasions in which different officers interact with an inmate. In each of those interactions, the officer was attempting to help the inmate, provide them with the resources they need, get them, to a place where they could get assistance or whatever the case may be. It was all positive interactions. It was all low-key, calm interactions. And in each of those interactions, the inmate became aggressive and spit in the face of each of these officers. And I will tell you, we expect some kickback. We expect some, shall we say, negative interactions from the inmate population. We know that's coming. We're ready for that. But in this case, the agency they moved after this third incident. They moved to have that inmate charged for assault for each of those incidents, defending their officers, letting their officers know, hey, we are not going to tolerate this kind of behavior in this facility. And so my hat's off to that county. I'm glad to hear that they're doing that, standing up for their officers, reminding their officers, hey, we recognize it's a difficult job. We recognize there's a lot of stuff that you just got to take. It's just part of the job. But when we're able to stand up and be behind you, we're going to stand up and be behind you. So I say again, hats off to that agency. But it also reminds us there's going to be situations where everything looks great, and then all of a sudden, it's not great. Everything's calm and peaceful until it isn't. And so the necessity that we have to keep that guard up. Well, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the information provided in this episode. If you enjoy any of these episodes, go to YouTube, look the Shakedown Podcast, send that link of that episode to somebody. Let them know, hey, you need to hear this. This is good stuff. This is great stuff, whatever the case may be. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about what's going on. Hope that it is always an opportunity for you to just chill, listen to something about the career field that you have chosen, and that it is providing information that is beneficial to you. Well, guys, as always, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to spend some time with you. And until the next time, stay sharp, stay safe, stay vigilant. Godspeed.